We're back in the TechXLR8 TV studio here, part of London Tech Week 2018. And I'm about to speak now with Jeff Travers, who is Head of IoT at Ericsson. Jeff, thank you very much for joining us.
Yes, thank you. Great to be here.
So, let's talk about the Internet of Things. Now, I don't know if you can call IoT still in a kind of nascent phase or not, because it feels as though we've been talking about it forever one way or another. But certainly one thing that I think we do see with any nascent technology is fragmentation. Lots of different standards. There are standards, there are just an awful lot of them. So as far as Ericsson's concerned, as far as you're concerned, having been in the industry for a little while, what's your take on what needs to happen next to standardize on those standards to defrag the fragmentation in IoT?
Yes, well, you're right. It is too messy right now, and we need to see some scale come into the industry to get us that momentum, the sort of momentum we had in the smartphone business. We're dealing with a number of standards bodies, for example, but one I'd like to highlight to you is the OMA IPSO Smart Objects. For us, this is a way of giving intelligence to devices so they can say things like, look, this is who I am, and this is what I'm capable of, so that we can automatically onboard devices. This needs to be much faster than it is today.
So OMA?
OMA organization, IPSO as a standardization for smart objects. So objects can define what they are in advance. Right now, objects are pretty dumb, and we have to hard code what they shall do. It needs to be reversed so that they talk to us and tell us, this is me, this is what I can do.
Dare I say a bit more plug and play?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Fair enough. I think we're on the same page there in that case. Okay, so for organisations, for companies, heads of IT perhaps who are watching right now, many of them are embarking on an IoT journey, and more often than not that starts with a pilot. And it seems the feedback that we get, that more often than not, that kind of ends with the pilot as well. So in terms of the conversations that you have with your customers, how do you make sure that an IoT project gets beyond that pilot phase? What are the common pitfalls that organisations make that prevents them from taking an IoT project to production?
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I think this starts with, we need to recognise that IoT is not machine to machine a little bit faster. IoT is actually now synonymous with digital transformation. It is actually underwriting a full change of a business process. And if a company take that on board, and if the senior sponsorship, it's very often a board level agenda, CEO level agenda, and involve the many dimensions of the company, then we see pilots being very successful. But if they run in isolation and they're treated in essence as an IT standalone project, that's failing to recognize the transformational effect of IoT, and that other business areas need to be involved.
It's not just a technology that you're transforming, it's a business process,
Absolutely.
It's a customer outcome of some kind.
Exactly.
And I guess that's how success ultimately will be measured, whether it has fulfilled a problem, whether it's met often a non-technical requirement.
Yes, and this is a compelling subject. This is not a trivial subject, because companies are really faced with, do we transform ourselves and take advantage of digitalization in the way we engage with our customers, in the way we connect our products, in the way we do our R&D? Or if they don't step up to this, risk being disrupted by outside players, and we see a lot of that happening too, right? So the stakes are high.
Outside of the IoT sphere here at London Tech Week and TechXLR8 2018, are there any other technologies that you've seen on the show floor here that have piqued your interest, that you think, well, actually, this is something that really will make a difference, maybe for IoT, but certainly for your customers over the next handful of years?
Yeah, I think they're all very relevant. But of course, 5G, from Ericsson view, we see that the previous Gs have dealt very much with consumers, and that's led to an enormous revolution in the smartphone world and the applications that's enabled. But 5G extends those capabilities into industrial capability, right? So now we're heading straight into what can transform industry. So 5G for us is a very significant changer. But also artificial intelligence and automation. Because of the vast amounts of data we're pulling up, we need to be able to trigger automatic response to hit the scale. There's no way to do these things manually, as has been done in the past.
Now, Jeff, you're going to be giving a keynote today on the telecoms industry's new reality.
Yes.
Tell me more about that.
Okay. Well, look, I think as we connect our products, it's not enough to simply connect them. It's not enough to simply pull through the data. The only way to get value out of this new form of connected products is to involve an ecosystem of partners and bring real new value to your offering. And if you do that, you find very quickly that value is generated, but the connectivity is a key parameter. If your device is going to be connected, the connectivity experience is part of your product, part of your brand experience. So we don't accept the statement that connectivity should be agnostic. We don't see it that way. Connectivity insight is critical, and we need to exploit connectivity, use the right networks, use the right commands, use the right technique for your device under your circumstances, right? These are the things I'll be covering.
Sounds fascinating. Look forward to hearing more about the telecoms industry's new reality later on. But for now, Jeff, Head of IoT at Ericsson, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.